I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed.
Michael Jordan tells me one day he wants to be the best player that's ever played here. And I said, well, you got to work harder than you did in high school. He said, I worked as hard as everybody else. I said, oh, excuse me. I thought you just told me you want to be the best player to ever play here. He said, I'm going to show you. Nobody will ever work as hard as I work.
Winning has a price. I don't have to do this. I'm only doing it because it is who I am. That's how I played the game. That was my mentality.
To win, you got to lose. To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am, you know, and not to wear it on my sleeve, be very humble about it. That's one thing my parents taught me very well is, you know, don't wear your reputation, don't wear your accolades, don't wear your, you know, your personality on your sleeve. Let it happen, let it be you. It is who you are. Don't hide from it, but don't, you know, don't wear it, rub it in people's faces. If you ask 20 years from now, I'm pretty sure LeBron may beat me, you know, based on who's going to be making the voting. So I say that to understand that, you know, it is what it is. If you ask me, I can never give you an opinion about things like that because as an athlete, all you want to do is be the best athlete you can be. So quite naturally, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to understand you're going to make mistakes. The most important thing about making mistakes is being able to learn from them and not be able to duplicate the same mistakes. And with that mistakes, you got to, you know, be able to make adjustments. I never played against Will Chamberlain. I never played against, you know, Jerry West. To now say that, you know, one's greater than the other is being a little bit, you know, unfair. How much impact did each change or evolve the game? You know, the thing that I remember the most about my father, and, you know, I had him for 32 years. The thing that I do remember all the time, you know, I think about him practically every day. The thing he's always said, take a pause before you make a decision and say, what if? And the purpose for saying what if is that whatever decision you make, always either gonna have consequences, either pros or cons. And if you think about the consequences, pro or con, you make the right decisions that you feel is the right decision. Now, all the decisions I made, other people may view to be not the right decisions from their perspective. But for me to go play baseball, and everybody says, oh, it was a failed opportunity to play baseball. You know, that's what they think. For me, it was the best thing that could have happened for me because it allowed me to go back to the game with a stronger passion. At the same time, I was able to understand the love that these minor league baseball players have. To me, to see that helped me put things in perspective, to understand the platform that I was on in 93, that when I went back to it in 95 and 96, I appreciated it even greater. So when we won those championships and we went through those things mattered to me far greater than what I did in 91, 92, 93. People don't see that, and people will never understand that to be success. Don't be afraid to fail. A great example for if you love something and your agenda is to be successful and to win, it's a certain price you have to pay and it's a certain accountability you have to hold.
Don't be afraid to try it. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't pan out the way that you envision it. But at least you know that by giving it a shot.
What's your greatest disappointment in sports?
I haven't had any disappointments. I mean, sports is a tool that teaches, and it teaches you bad things. It can also teach you good things. It's how you perceive those things. I've looked at every experience that I've had, negative and positive, and taken that as a positive. If I wouldn't change anything because I think it would alter some of the other things that happened. So when I look back, I can't say that I've had any bad things happen. Sure, I mean, you don't want bad things to happen, but you deal with bad things. You can't have good or without bad.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for. Every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
Have you ever been afraid on the court ever? Against anybody?
Never.
Have you ever been intimidated by anybody?
Never. I mean, these guys put on their shorts just like me. I don't fear anyone on the basketball court. My competitive drive is far greater than anyone else that I've met. I think that I thrive on that. I think that's my biggest motivation in life, is to compete, find different competitions in certain things in life and try to overcome that, be it positive or negative. But I have yet to meet someone who is as competitive as me, and I just feel that much confident about my competitive drive. A lot of times I had to battle with myself to keep challenging myself. That to me was why I would say that the biggest battle was myself, because when you get to a certain pinnacle, you got to find some ways to keep going out there for 82 games. I mean, I love the game, and every day I try to play it as hard as I can when I'm playing it, but that's an unbelievable graphic. I mean, I imagine if I didn't play basketball profession, I'd probably play 126 games anyway, so it really did make a difference.
There's a lot of conversations about what your game is capable of achieving, and I'm a firm believer that if you have a good game, your game is going to say that. You don't have to say it. So I guess it's trying to play down some of the trash talking, animosity that's in words and the whole promotional thing. Let your game be your promotion, your marketing tool. And that was our whole era. Our game gave the labels of what our basketball skills were. And then the marketing came back around that. Now it's changed. So I'm trying to revert back to where your game do all your talking instead of what we may say and what someone else may say about your game.
I can remember a game coming off the basketball court and we were down, 5 to 10 points, and I go off about 25 points and we come back and win the game. And we're walking off the floor and Tex look at me and says, there's no I in team. I say, Tex, it's not an I in team, but it's I in win. I think he got my message. I'd do anything to win. If that means we play team format, we win. If that means I have to do whatever I have to do, we're gonna win, no matter how you look at it. And then you had all your media naysayers. Oh, scoring champion can't win an NBA title, or you're not as good as Magic Johnson, you're not as good as Larry Bird. You're good, but you're not as good as those guys. I had to listen to all this, and that put so much wood on that fire that it kept me each and every day trying to get better as a basketball player. Now, I'm not saying they were wrong. I may have looked at them from a different perspective, but at the same time, as a basketball player, I'm trying to become the best that I can. For someone like me who achieved a lot in over the time of my career, you look for any kind of messages that people may say or do to get you motivated to play the game of basketball at the highest level, because that is when I feel like I excel at my best.
We don't have bad games, or we're not expected to have bad games. We got to be consistent. We have to be good every night. We have a challenge every night. Something was given to us by the notoriety, by the media, by the fans, that superstardom, and we have to protect it because everybody's coming in and trying to get it. I was being given that MVP by my teammates, by people that I play with and I'm with 8 months out of the year, instead of the media, who I see quite a bit. But my players actually gave me that because of the way they played. I feel. And that was very touching for me.
Tell me what you were thinking about when you were going in for that jam. Were you thinking about what you were doing?
I was thinking too much. I knew in my mind, I think I was going to throw it off the backboard. It was really embarrassing, but everybody makes mistakes. I don't think anyone should be afraid going to the hole. And a lot of guys are getting to that point where they're afraid going to the hole. Afraid to go? Yeah. You ever afraid to go? Never. I never. I mean, I had to live that way.
MJ. Oh, he did it! George. Jeff in the, oh, man. Jordan tries again.
Nobody's bad, right?
Nobody's bad. I mean,
You're talking about the cream of the crop.
it's the mind. A lot of guys who can run and jump will probably shoot. But if they don't have the killer instinct or the confidence in themselves to perform those skills, we must be considered one of the best teams ever. Personally, I mean, individual goal was that Magic, Bird, Isaiah never did this. So that meant a lot to me to do it for the third time. Yes, I won't say that I'm better than those people, but I think in terms of success, continuous and consistently, that puts me right up there with them, if not, a step above them. So I'm not here campaigning for the best player in the world or in history. I'm not saying that, because everybody plays differently in different eras. But to say that we won 3 in a row and I was a part of that team, that means a lot. I don't look at this moment as a defining end to my relationship with the game of basketball. It's simply a continuation of something that I started a long time ago. One day you might look up and see me playing the game at 50. Never say never, because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion. Thank you very much.